My name is Britney, and if you're new to my channel, I am a professional photographer who dedicates my time to looking into the systems marketed to photographers and other small businesses. I break down the tools, the workflows, and the tech behind the scenes so that you don't have to. Today, we're taking a deep dive into two photography booking tools, the Pixieset Client Manager and Session. While Pixieset offers a full-fledged CRM with many features beyond booking, and Session promotes itself as a streamlined, no-nonsense solution, these platforms have more in common than you might think. I'm zooming in on their booking capabilities to compare them side by side, looking at how their interfaces and usability stack up. The question is, can Pixieset's comprehensive studio manager keep up with the fast, effortless workflow that Session offers? Or does the simplicity of Session come at the cost of some important features that Pixieset's all-in-one approach totally nails? With all of my videos, I always have a handful of categories that'll cover what we'll be looking at, and I also mark these in the description below. So if you want to skip ahead, I'm not going to be making it a guessing game. Our priorities today with each system will be pricing. We'll be looking at the cost and what you're getting with each platform. Booking setup. This is where we'll be comparing how easy it is for us to set up and manage bookings on each system. We'll do some contract creating, and finally, the client journey. This is where we'll be looking at how the clients interact with the systems and how they move through them. By breaking down these elements, we'll get a better feel for where each system shines and where they overlap. I'm not here to tell you which one to pick. I just want to give you a clearer picture so you can see which one fits your workflow the best, if any. Some of the things I focus on might surprise you, and that is totally cool. You are welcome to your opinion, just like I'm welcome to mine, and I know that we will be respectful of each other's opinions. Let's kick things off by diving into the first category, pricing. I've gone over the pricing for both Pixieset and Session in some previous videos, but I always think that this is the most important piece of the purchasing puzzle. Because if you don't have the system in your business budget, it's just not going to be a system you can easily adopt. So let's compare the pricing of these two systems. On the Pixieset side of things, they offer 3 pricing tiers. The first is an always free option. There's no time limit, so you can take your sweet time testing things out without the pressure of a trial ticking down. But that can also stretch out your decision-making process. It also doesn't allow you to set up intake forms for bookings, so no contracts or questionnaires with this tier. The next tier up is $12 a month billed annually, or $15 month to month, which gives you more options, but it caps you at 3 active sessions, and you can't collect retainers during bookings. Last up is their Pro plan, which is $18 a month billed annually, or $24 month to month. And with this plan, you unlock unlimited sessions, booking intake forms, reminders, tipping options, and the ability to ditch Pixieset's branding. So there's really nothing missing in this tier. Now let's talk about Session. They keep things simple with a single tier at $14 a month billed annually, or $19 month to month. Their features are packed in without extra fluff. You get everything up front: contracts, waitlists, link in bio, online payments, analytics, reminders, and even 3 gigabytes of gallery storage, which can be upgraded. There's no free forever plan here, but a solid 14-day free trial lets you take the entire system for a spin. The choice between the two comes down to your budget and what you're familiar with. If you're already in the Pixieset ecosystem and like what they offer, their pricing or free tier might suit you the best. But if you're after a clear-cut all-in-one package at a solid price point, Session may have already caught your eye. With pricing all covered, let's dive into an important aspect of both platforms: how they handle the workflow of setting up a booking. First, let's quickly look at how these two platforms set the stage from the moment you log in. Pixieset presents a more comprehensive view of your business with a focus on clients and projects. It's client forward, meaning everything revolves around the client you're working with, whether it's creating a project, managing contracts, or booking sessions. Meanwhile, Session is all about getting you straight to booking. The dashboard is laser focused on starting a session, guiding you through the process with minimal steps. I find the most valuable resource with both of these sites to be setting up session types. These basically act as templates that can be used for assigning to clients quickly, or on our booking site. The setup process for session templates is pretty different between Session and Pixieset. Session keeps it simple with a one-page flow where a window slides out to input info, and there's a save button to finalize your work when you're done. It's fast and intuitive, and since I've created some placeholder contracts and questionnaires previously, I never have to navigate away from this screen. Obviously, if we did still have some documents to prep, we would go into those different prep areas, but for our purposes today, we don't have to. Pixieset, on the other hand, goes for a more visually compact sidebar to organize everything into sections. Whether it's setting general info, adding intake forms, or creating payment information, it offers flexibility and gives you a wider view of your session's components. But it takes a bit longer compared to Session's all-in-one approach. I do want to point out, intake forms are only available for Plus or Pro users, so I did invest in a month of Pixieset so that I could keep the workflows of both Pixieset and Session similar. This isn't me endorsing Pixieset. If anything, I'm just really into consistency and research. The flow for both setup screens for sessions, the word session is going to be used so much in this video. I need to find a synonym.
Conclave.
None of those work. Project? The flow for both setup screens for whatever project we're working on are relatively simple, and each has a very intentional journey attached to it. Since we've already done the work of setting up session type templates, both platforms make things way faster when setting up projects. With Session, we'll enter in the shoot name, date, and time, then pick our portrait template. After that, we land on a details screen where we can double check everything before sending it off to the client. There's a few more clicks involved with Pixieset, but it's still incredibly fast. We'll go into the client's project, hit Session, pick our portrait template, throw in the date, time, and duration, and then we are immediately taken to the Send Session screen. It was a touch jarring to go from the create step to the send screen, but there is an email preview, so we can check to make sure our information is correct, and we can always X out of the send area if we aren't quite ready for that step. Moving on to mini session setup, this differs a tiny bit for both due to the added time blocking. Pixieset and Session are both incredible with this setup. There's only one element that I feel Pixieset has the edge with, and that's adding in breaks. We can choose where we want the breaks to fall within our time block lineup, rather than on Session where we just put in a time and see where it fits into our lineup. But that is such a small thing. Both systems handle time blocking really well, and while they follow similar steps in the setup process, each has its own distinct feel, making them stand apart rather than feeling like the same tool with a different logo and price tag slapped on them. Ultimately, the difference comes down to speed versus flexibility. Session is great for getting bookings set up quickly, while Pixieset gives you more control over the entire client journey. Next up, contracts. These are essential for setting clear expectations with your clients, outlining key details like deliverables, payment terms, and policies. A well-structured contract tool streamlines your workflow, builds trust, and ensures everything is communicated clearly, which I'm sure I don't really need to explain to all of you, but, if there's one person out there taking clients and you still don't have a contract, please get a contract. Let's take a look at how both systems handle this process. Both of these systems offer user-friendly options for setting up contracts, so you don't feel like you need to hire a platform specialist just to get started. In Pixieset, you can start with either a blank contract or one of their templates, though they do suggest having a lawyer review the templates to cover legal bases. One minor hiccup I ran into was trying to switch from a template to a blank contract. The system kept autofilling the old template. A quick fix was to manually delete the content and start fresh. Session, on the other hand, doesn't offer templates, so you'll need to come prepared with your own contract text ready to copy and paste. In terms of customization, Pixieset offers a bit more flexibility. You can adjust headings, text alignment, add dividers, and even insert text fields that clients can fill in themselves, which is useful for gathering additional information like session attendees or setting static details like the number of people allowed. Unfortunately, Session doesn't include custom text fields, which limits some flexibility. But it is easy to work around with the inclusion of a questionnaire in your booking process. That said, Session does have features like agree/disagree buttons and initial boxes for clients to acknowledge terms, which Pixieset lacks. While it might not guarantee clients actually read the contract, at least it encourages some interaction with key terms. Overall, I enjoy the contract creation process on both platforms, but I lean slightly towards Pixieset for its extra polish and flexibility. It offers plenty of customization without being overwhelming, making it feel professional yet approachable. With that all covered and all of our booking components in place, we can get to the client side of the story with our final category, the client journey. So for this section, I have a sample client called Pony Express, which is my dog. So he's going to be handling all of our bookings for these sessions. After sending Pony the booking link, he'll receive an email with instructions to complete his booking. Both systems make this easy to follow, but I do like how Pixieset includes a reminder of the date and time right in the email. A small but useful detail that we don't even have to think about when sending. When Pony clicks through to the confirmation screen, both systems show reminders of session details, keeping things clear. At this point though, the paths diverge. With Pixieset, because we as the photographer already entered in most of Pony's details during the client's setup, he only needs to review that information. He can make changes to things like his phone number if he needs to. Session, on the other hand, requires Pony to enter his details from scratch, since the only thing we inputted was his email beforehand. But even his email doesn't carry over to the client information screen. Even though it's a quick form to fill in, it does require manual input from the client. One thing to note is that Session doesn't save any information during checkout. So if Pony thinks there's something that he needs to change and he tries to click this change or cancel link down here, there's no warning of the loss of progress. Which I think if there was a warning given before canceling out of the entire form, that would allow users to be more aware of what they are selecting. As we continue, both systems follow similar steps but in slightly different orders. Pixieset first takes Pony to a session questionnaire. Notice how Pony entered the wrong date? Silly little pony. Since the questionnaire's session date field isn't connected to the actual booking details, there's no system to check if the date matches the session being booked. This means a client could input the wrong date without realizing it, and no error would alert them. This can cause confusion and add extra work for the photographer to manually verify everything. A simple solution is for us, the photographer, to remove the session date question from any questionnaire attached to a booking. After the questionnaire follows the contract and finally the summary screen. With Session, it's reversed. First, the contract, then the questionnaire, and finally the summary. It's not a major difference, but worth noting in terms of how the process is laid out. Now, moving to the contract step, with our Pixieset contract that we created, a lot of the fields autocomplete for Pony based on the information we as the photographer inputted when setting up his project. He just has to fill in who is attending the session, which if he forgets to do, the system will draw his attention back to that field. His contract over on Session also autofills the contract, but with the personal information Pony himself entered earlier, along with some that we entered during initial setup. All Pony needs to add is his initials and signature. If he forgets something, Session will flag it, ensuring no step is missed. In both systems, Pony finishes with a summary screen that shows his session details. Pixieset provides easy access for Pony to download his documents, while in Session, Pony can see his answers and contract, but can't download them directly. That task would fall onto us as the photographers to download and send over a copy of his documents for his records. I'm really curious, do you usually send a copy of the completed contract to your clients automatically, or only if they ask? My clients always have access to view their contract online, but I only email it to them if they request it. I'm wondering what your process is like. Overall, both platforms succeed in making the booking process fast and straightforward, helping clients lock in their sessions with minimal effort. I really appreciated how Pixieset keeps the session information as a sticky item across each page, ensuring the client has all the important details in view at all times. On the flip side, I liked how Session places the responsibility on the client to fill in their information, letting us get the booking link out to them much faster. Both systems get the job done, it just comes down to how you want the process to flow. To sum it up, while both Pixieset and Session offer session booking tools, they each have a distinct feel. Pixieset, with its polished and comprehensive features, feels more sophisticated, which can sometimes come across as intimidating. Session, on the other hand, feels younger and more approachable, though it may still have some growing pains here and there. Ultimately, Pixieset caters to those who want an all-in-one suite, while Session is perfect for photographers seeking simplicity and efficiency. Personally, I see Session as a great starting point for making the booking process easy and efficient. But as my client base grows, Pixieset's broader feature set would likely become more appealing, offering the tools needed to manage a larger workflow. Both platforms have their strengths. Session is ideal for getting started, while Pixieset shines as your business scales. And that about does it for this look at the booking tools of Pixieset and Session. Are you familiar with these two systems? Have you used one or both, or maybe switched from one to the other? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you'd like me to take a look at some other photography systems that you use or that you just think are really cool, share that down below as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video and will consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell to be alerted whenever I release a new video. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.